who this victim actually is. And her name is Debrina Kawam. And I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong, but this is the poor, unfortunate woman who lost her life on the subway system. Now, if you go through the article, it's going to go ahead and tell you about how she was sleeping on the train. This man came and ignited her on fire. And if anybody got a chance to see the surreal video, you'll see a man in there fanning the flames with his t-shirt, which without any context or anything looks like a bystander attempting poorly to put out the fire. But as it were, this is the man who actually set her on fire. We all know that oxygen fans the flames, and that's exactly what he was doing. So, of course, myself, I, saw it as a poorly informed citizen attempting to put out the fire, but I was indeed wrong. He lit her on fire and then began, fanning the flames with a shirt, causing her to become engulfed in the blaze before sitting on a platform bench and watching as she burned. So he took some pleasure in watching this go down. She was 57 years old, had a last known address in New Jersey, and somehow found her way to the F train in Brooklyn's Coney Island station. How she got there is quite the conundrum for the people who are following this story, because not a lot of it is making sense. I believe it was Fox interviewed a woman who is now living in her family's old house, and she claims that this woman, Debrina, had stopped by the house to attempt to contact her family at their last known address. And unfortunately, the family had moved without a forwarding address, and this woman was in a cab at the time. So the woman that now owns the house says that Debrina was in healthy condition. She seemed coherent enough, at least enough not to raise any red flags to the new owner of the house. And she was traveling in a cab to get back and forth to her destination. So the idea that this woman was completely gone at this point of the story, where she has actually fallen asleep on the F train and lit on fire, it leads a lot of people to question how we got from point A to point B, how such a rapid decline happened in such a short amount of time. But then we remember what we watched with President Biden, and we see that that can happen extremely quickly. And the level of dementia, we don't know if it's an actual diagnosis. I'm just using that as a way to describe how the woman reacted to being burned on the platform, right? Because she was extremely calm in demeanor, was not running around, not acting as if somebody had lit her on fire, and the people in the vicinity acted accordingly to that response, right? So it was almost like she had set the tone to the response of her own demise. Strangely, oddly enough, we saw a bunch of people who, again, were not only ill-equipped to make a proper decision. When did we forget stop, drop, and roll of all things? But people who were unwilling to step up to the plate for either fear or lack of knowledge on what to do.